Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.
Hey, ladies and gents, I'm Emilio A. Cologne, and this is the EAC Show coming to you from sunny South Florida. I got Marcus Mack on the sound.
Yo.
I got Anthony Nieves and Jordan Crane on the video. And sitting right next to me is UCF activist, overall sports enthusiast, the big one, Cameron Denny. Cameron, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Glad to be back. How we doing?
Yeah, man. How was the wedding?
Oh, it was great, man. It was my buddy's, my old college roommate, man. We had a good time. Great time. I was out with St. Augustine.
You twinkle toes dancing, man. You.
Oh my God, yeah.
You look good. You look good in the IG video. You look really good.
I had to post an IG video with the fit I had on. I had to make that happen.
Well, look, so much to talk about this weekend in sports. What an amazing weekend in sports. But the first thing I want to tackle is that crazy video tribute that Dr. Dre did for Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely.
I mean, we just finished watching it and hearing it. It was. I listened to it 17 times, and I wanted to play basketball right after I'm done, and I've been retired for 10
I listened
years.
to it 24 times.
It's crazy. It's insane. So why don't we get into what are we going to talk about and what's on the slate for this weekend so we can go from there?
No doubt. So we're going to jump off from there. We'll talk a little bit about the All-Star game, Team Giannis, Team LeBron. We talked. I had Team LeBron.
My team lost,
man.
man.
No doubt.
My
So that's
team
another
lost.
L for Team Emilio. But we'll go from there, and we'll talk about the 3 games on Saturday, the skills competition, the dunk contest, the 3-point contest.
The 3-point contest was good. I mean, it was quality. You know, it was really good. But I have to admit, and I'm going to say this right now, that I was wrong about the dunk contest because they literally did their thing this year. The dunk contest was a good dunk contest. Was it highway robbery? In my opinion, it was highway robbery.
Sure,
but it was a good dunk contest.
Yeah, and it was competitive, and there was controversy with it. Just like they were talking about, like Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan from back in the day, how there was a little bit of controversy with that as well. It had that same feel. A lot of people that from back in that time were saying. So,
oh, you know what else I have to plug that I totally forgot about last week? I mean, we'll say we totally forgot about. We forgot about the world versus the U.S. rookie versus sophomore game.
Right,
we didn't even touch that. It totally slipped my mind.
A lot of emerging stars in that game.
Yeah,
Luka,
you had
Zion,
Morant, and Zion, and Luka, and a lot of good players in that game.
Yeah, none. A lot of good people in that game. So we'll touch a little bit about on that, and then from there we'll jump into the XFL. You know, this is a heavy XFL show. We love our extra football that we got handed to us this year. So we'll talk a little bit about the matchups we saw on Saturday and Sunday in this week, and then after that we'll go into the Week 3 matchups. We'll talk about betting lines probably on Wednesday, just to give us something to talk about throughout the week. And then from there, we'll also talk a little bit about the MLB and the continuation of this cheating scandal.
Let me explain something to you. I can't wait. I can't wait to take the lead on. I'm literally going to go in. When the GOAT, Mike Trout, comes out and he speaks, people listen. And Mike Trout today came out and told the world how he really felt about all this cheating and all what should happen and this. And I watched the 45-minute, Rob Manfred interview with Carl Ravitch.
Oh,
and
you told me to watch that.
I'm gonna tackle that too because I was just so vividly upset.
Yeah. Rob Manfred, we know you listen to the show, so Emilio's gonna rip you today. So just look out for that, and I'm letting you take the reins on that one because I know that's your arena right there. So let's start it off just like that. We'll start off with the All-Star game, and let me know what your thoughts about it Sunday night.
Okay, Sunday night's All-Star game. I mean, it was a great idea by Chris Paul to pledge the money to the charitable foundations. Team Giannis's team lost the first quarter to LeBron.
Yep.
They won the second quarter, and then the third quarter was tied, which made the fourth quarter even more money worth towards charitable foundation. And the fourth quarter, hands down, was probably the best basketball I've ever seen in an All-Star game in a long, long time.
Hands down. And really, I was following on Twitter. I just saw all the reactions. A lot of people were saying it's some of the best basketball they've seen in general as far as like a quarter of basketball was played. That fourth quarter was absolutely electric.
They were going in.
Yeah, 100%.
Kyle Lowry was taking charges, and they were going at James Harden, Team Giannis. Anybody who had the ball for Team Giannis was going at Harden because they felt like Harden doesn't like to play defense. And they were taking the game really, really, really serious. I mean, from what I looked up, I saw that there was so many fast break points in the first 3 quarters. absolutely none in the fourth.
Yeah.
No fast break points whatsoever because they literally took it as a playoff game, and they every possession was important. They played defense. The intensity level was way high. There was no substitutions neither. Literally, the starting fives that was there, that's who the last five that was on the court, that was who was playing the rest of the game.
Yeah, 100%. And just like you said, the first 3 quarters, not a lot of dribbling, just a lot of straight up passing, all offense. Wasn't really competitive, just a lot of players making plays. And then in the fourth quarter, we saw it get serious and them starting to crack down on defense. I laughed when I saw Kyle Lowry, you said took a charge, got all pumped up because he stopped that last 3 from Harding.
He took 2.
He took 2, but that last one that they waved Harden's 3-point shot off that would have ended the game. Mm-hmm. And then the next drive down, he's the one that set up the foul shot for Anthony Davis.
Exactly, yeah.
So I got a little kick out of that. But.
So what did you think about the overall? They had to score 157 points first.
I loved it. Because that's something that they didn't do originally. Not that they didn't want to do it, but the idea wasn't given to them. A lot of people were talking on Twitter about they should do something like this, they should do something like that. Chris Paul, you said he was the one that had the idea about giving the money to charity for each quarter. Mm-hmm. He's actually the one that gave the idea. He said he watched some sort of basketball, like whether I forgot what outlet of basketball it was or what lower level of basketball it was, but he got the idea of that from there. Mm-hmm. With after the team's higher score after the third quarter, you add 24 points to it and you create a target score for these teams to go after. And what it ensures is it ensures a final shot and it ensures a game-winning shot instead of just a team running the clock out at the end of the game.
We saw a level of basketball we haven't seen in a very long time, and the efficiency level of these players dropped exponentially in that fourth quarter. There was a lot of missed shots. There was a lot of, fouling. Because they're playing real defense for a real purpose. They want to, get this money for their charitable causes. And I was all for it. It was great.
Yeah, and who knows whether this is going to hold up for years to come. Obviously, the format, they're going to keep this format, add 24 points in the fourth quarter. So I think that'll keep the game competitive. But this year's All-Star game was going to be, jam-packed with excitement and guys going full tilt because of obviously everyone wanted to win the first ever Kobe Bryant MVP award.
Oh, look,
that's why everyone was going so hard.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to tell you right now, between the Dr. J tribute, between the Common tribute, the opening for the NBA, which was also amazing. If you guys haven't seen that, go to YouTube and go check it out. Go to NBA on TNT, and you can check that out on social media as well. The NBA always gets it right when it comes to these things. Look what they did. They changed the MVP award to the Kobe Bryant MVP award. The NBA always hits home runs with this stuff, man.
Better than any other Premier League, sporting league in this country, whether NBA, NFL, MLB, the big three there. They always seem to get these things right, and they it's all first class. That Dr. Dre video that you showed me before when you were talking about earlier on, you're right. I mean, it was hands down. They played that in the stadium for everyone there.
I left this morning. I started dribbling the basketball, and then I realized I couldn't do it anymore, and I put the basketball. It gave me goosebumps. I wanted to play.
Yeah.
I wanted to play.
Absolutely. Yeah, and hats off to you, Dr. Dre, for putting that together. Just world class. The editing was on point with that. Adding Gigi in there, and just it was. I mean, you can't say anything better about that. And also Common's tribute was great as well. You talked to me a little bit about the show, before the show started, about these Chicago rappers and their ability to sort of just talk while rapping and be able to lay out and not even, just put together, lines or bars.
Poetry. It's poetry.
It's straight up basketball poetry, what they were doing out there.
What Common did in the opening of that NBA All-Star game was straight up basketball poetry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was great.
100%.
So the game overall, obviously, I lost, you won, so you were right and I was wrong. Team LeBron got the W for you. It was just overall bad weekend on picks for me. You killed me.
I know, man. I mean, we'll get into we'll get into the XFL, which is what Emilio is speaking about from there. But first, we want to talk a little bit about Saturday night. We'll backtrack from Sunday. The three competitions: the skills competition, the dunk contest, and the 3-point contest. As far as the skills competition is concerned, not really too much changed about the overall format of that given competition.
Were you surprised how well the big men did in that competition?
Normally, I would say yes, I'm surprised, but we talked last week about how this game is evolving and sort of the new era of what this NFL is going to look like here.
NBA.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, the NBA. Thanks for correcting me. So to see Bam Adebayo and Domantas Sabonis battle it out as two forward centers, and I believe in the semifinals, Pascal Siakam was another forward center. So to see that many big men sort of take the reins in the skills competition, it was sort of eye-opening. And even
for those that are listening and watching, Bam Adebayo from Miami Heat won the event.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So that was kind of weird to see that. Dwayne Wade was loving it. The reporter even asked Bam, like, you know, you're obviously a big man. Is this where you see the game going? And they were sort of, you know, hyping that up and sort of playing into the hand of that really, you know, being the evolution of the NBA today.
It was also Pascal Siakam, and who was the other guy that was also at the end?
Domantas Sabonis
from the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, which is, I mean, I was just really shocked on how skillful some of these big men are in comparison to our point guards that didn't even remotely place properly. Like none of them did.
And they could have found the committee that picks these guys for these given competitions. They could have found any old point guard or shooting guard to do these competitions. They chose big men that they think could have competed in this competition to forward this thinking of the new era of NBA.
Correct.
It's exciting.
Absolutely.
They want more guys like that.
Hey, because they're straight phenoms. It's insane. You got a guy who's 6'11", 6'10", can handle the ball, shoot the three, all that. So let's start getting into now the three-point competition. Yep. Now, my picks for the three-point competition did absolutely nothing. So that's another phase of my picks this weekend that just...
Who'd you have?
I had Trae Young and I had Joe Harris, who weren't even close.
Yeah, I'm with you on Trae Young. I threw a little bit of money on my guy Duncan Robinson because I'm a Heat homer, but also...
What was the odds on that?
He was, I believe, like plus 400 to 500, 450, something like that. I was just put a few shekels on it just to see if it landed on all the Heat guys. So I went 2 for 3 with the Heat.
So the three finalists that ended up were Devin Booker, Buddy Hield, and the guy from the Washington Wizards, correct? David
Bertans, who gave me Peja Stojakovic vibes out there. Those three guys. I mean, they showed out, and I was surprised. I liked one of my picks were Devin Booker, and you know I was feeling good after the first round. I was feeling really good, and when Buddy Hield matched him, I was like, okay, here we go. So we're gonna see some fireworks.
What did you think about those two new Mountain Dew 3-point shots?
I loved it. I mean, it's hard to change the format of the 3-point contest. I'm not sure if this is the year where they added a full rack of money balls, or last year was the one.
No, it was before.
It was before.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's hard to add things. It's easier to add things in the dunk competition, in the skills competition. So for them to add a true 3-point shot, where it was pretty much a shot from the logo, I thought that was neat. The lime green ball they had.
So for you guys listening and watching out there, Buddy Hield did win the 3-point competition. He beat out David Bertans of the Washington Wizards and Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. And then another thing, and I have to apologize. I'm going to eat crow for this. The dunk contest was actually really good. It was exciting. It was really good. I bashed it all last week.
Yep.
I destroyed it. I literally ran it into the ground. And I'll be the first to eat crow and say that I was wrong.
Yeah, and I'm happy you're eating your words. It was good sports to watch in the moment of it. And to me, the first round of it was really whatever. I mean, you had Dwight Howard have a nice tribute to Kobe.
I think he did a nice tribute to Kobe.
It was nice.
The
it
ball,
was to be expected.
his jersey, all of that.
They came out before this, and he said that Kobe was actually agreed to help him, whether it was toss him the alley-oop and that. So to hear that was a little rough. So I'm glad he was able to show out for his man Kobe. I thought he got a little too many points from the judges for what was really an average dunk, but they gave him the points for the tribute, and it was a nice feel. He didn't advance to the next round.
The judges had absolutely no chemistry throughout the whole dunk contest.
No chemistry. They had no credibility. I felt like some of these dunks were just really whatever
absolutely
dunks.
Not. So in the dunk contest, the finalists were
Aaron Gordon
from the Orlando Magic, and your Miami Heat player.
Yep, Derrick Jones Jr. So a couple Florida boys showing out in the finals.
Now, not for nothing, and I'll be honest with you, it's very tough to call a guy a loser of a dunk contest where the last dunk he had was the only dunk that wasn't a 50.
Right.
He had 5 50-point dunks. He shouldn't even have to dunk anymore. It should be over.
Yeah, and I thought his last dunk, which I believe was the one that was a foot inside from the free throw, the windmill dunk, I thought that was...
Are you talking about Jones or are you talking about Aaron Gordon?
You're talking about Aaron Jones.
I'm talking about Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Gordon had 5 50-point dunks. Like,
Right.
there's no reason to dunk anymore after that. Like, he's going to break his legs if he keeps jumping.
Yeah, that last round between those two guys going back at it, back and forth, that was absolutely electric. And not to sound in the spirit of not being a Heat homer,
Which you are.
100%.
I'm surprised you didn't show up in your UCF shirt today again.
No, I was going to rock a 305 shirt, but, I figured I'd keep the baby blue on. But as far as that final round, man, I mean, I initially had Jones winning it, because I felt like Aaron Gordon at first was repeating dunks. It felt like he dunked over Chance the Rapper like 3 times.
Yes, he did. But the thing is that Jones did a dunk that if they didn't give Gordon a 50, Jones wins it automatically.
Yeah.
But then after that, Gordon does a dunk that, like, why are we even jumping anymore? The dunk where they threw it off the side of the backboard and he spun.
The one-handed 360 dunk off the side of the
Like,
backboard.
why does he even have to go again after that?
I thought it was wrapped up when I saw that. I was like, okay, great. Like, we can end this now. No more overtime dunks. But just going off of what you were saying there, so I had Jones originally because at least he had variety in the first few dunks. He had that dunk we talked about where he threw it off the side of the backboard. Mm-hmm. He had a dunk where he jumped over 2 people in one dunk. He had a dunk where he dunked over one person who threw it off the backboard. Then he went under the legs and jammed it with one hand. Mm-hmm. So at least he had variety. But then when I saw Aaron Gordon have that dunk that you spoke about off the side of the backboard and dunking over 7-6 Taco Fall, even though he didn't clear him.
UCF 7-6 Taco Fall.
Thank you for correcting me there.
You homer.
Yes, absolutely. But the fact that he jumped over him, I mean, it was more of a dunk on him as his head went down.
Yeah,
that's
I
what a lot
agree.
of people were. I guess that's why they took a point or two away. But he's still 7'6".
You know who didn't get a fair shake? The Milwaukee Bucks guard, Pat Connaughton.
Yeah,
Pat Connaughton. He didn't get a fair shake at all. That dunk he did with touching the backboard and then dunking it in, I think people didn't really think how hard that really was.
I think they gave him a 46 or a 47 on that first dunk, and he had to beg the judges to give him a 50 on his second dunk.
The fact
really
that he came out as whatchamacallit from White Man Can't Jump.
Woody Harrelson from White Man Can't Jump.
I was dying, yo. What was his name in the movie? His name was.
I can't even tell you what his name was in the movie.
Oh man, I forget.
You're gonna kick yourself over.
I'm gonna kick myself. Really, I know the name too.
I cracked up just off of Pat Connaughton because he's from the Milwaukee Bucks and he dunked over. His second dunk was a dunk over Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I forgot who the announcer was. I think it might have been.
That dude is so athletic.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think. He's
he
stupid.
can pitch.
Yeah.
He can play basketball. He probably could play hockey. He probably could play rugby.
Yeah, I think he plays handball.
He can do
in the
all of
summers.
it. Like, there's nothing that man can't do. Like, he's literally an overall athlete.
Yeah, and that's the kind of guys you want in the dunk contest. But I had a crack when I was cracking up when Reggie Miller, I think it was the announcer, when he dunked over Giannis, and he was like, if he hurts Giannis here, he's cut tomorrow. Like, he's done.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Giannis is the future of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Future of the league.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the now of the league.
Absolutely, I don't disagree with you. Now, once again, let me get back to the part that we missed all last week, which was the World versus the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And the World versus U.S. game, I think Ja Morant and Zion is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, they're nutty. They're just.
It was fun watching the two of them play. They had an alley-oop.
The future of the NBA is in good hands.
Oh, it's in fantastic hands, man. Yeah, they watching those two play. You're only going to get it once a year, whether it's the All-Star game or that. So it was fun to watch that a little bit. And I thought the players on the world team did great as well. Luka Doncic showed out as well.
Showed out completely. So let me get to this promo. This part of the show is brought to you by ElCubanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a café con leche or a natural pre-workout shot of Cuban coffee to start your day. Daily lunch specials and their steak sandwich is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's ElCubanoSandwichShop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC. So let's get into the next topic. We're off the NBA now, so we're going to talk about XFL, correct?
Yeah, and before we get into the XFL, I just want to backtrack and talk about Aaron Gordon here, because obviously he didn't get the respect he deserves for multiple years in 2016 where he had the chair dunk under both legs. He got robbed. And he came out and he said, he's like, it's a wrap. I feel like I should have 2 trophies. I'm done. He's like, maybe I'll join the 3-point contest.
Yeah, I think he should.
Yeah, I think he should boycott it.
I think he should.
Yeah, so like you said, jumping into the XFL here, Saturday – first game we had was DC, New York.
Yes,
right?
DC. That's the game I saw, and that's the game I was reporting on IG, the EAC show on IG. I was reporting on that game. You had the second game. You had Seattle versus Tampa Bay.
That's right. Yep.
So the DC Defenders versus the New York Guardians game was completely and utterly one-sided. Cardale Jones completely went off, had a great game. They won 27-0. The line in that game was -7, if I'm not mistaken. -7.5. Yeah, -7.5. And the DC Defenders completely dominated. Matt McGloin, for the quarterback for the New York Guardians, couldn't do absolutely nothing. He was almost like Sam Darnold. He was seeing ghosts out there. He was throwing pick. You get a pick. You get a pick. Everybody was getting picks, turnovers, you name it. Like, it was crazy out there, to the point where at halftime, and I reported this on IG, at halftime, Matt McGloin was being interviewed, and he said that we need to change the whole playbook going into the second half. And it didn't matter, because they could have changed the whole playbook. He still threw a pick in the second half to start the second half.
Threw a pick 6 to start the second half.
And then got benched.
Yeah.
and then got benched. So
they changed the playbook, and then they changed the quarterback.
I mean, Cardale is still undefeated as a starting quarterback from high school all the way up to the XFL. And their coach, Pep Hamilton, has been doing an amazing job of calling games. He's getting players involved. You know, people are enjoying playing. You could just tell the vibe and the excitement that the DC Defenders have. They're all bought in. They are all bought in. They want $100,000 extra every game.
Yeah.
They want that money.
Yeah, they're a very fun team to watch, especially the clips of them in the locker room afterwards, shotgunning beers and Bud Light seltzers. And
Bud Light seltzer, you are getting unbelievable promo. I'm not promoting
free sponsorship.
I'm not promoting this on the show right now. More than gladly too, if you guys are listening and watching. But Bud Light seltzer is winning with this XFL.
100%. And just going off the DC Defenders, man, they're doing it on both sides of the ball. This is the second week in a row that they've had a pick 6. They have 4 interceptions in the last 2 games to start the year. So they're doing it on all facets of the game. And to everyone, this is a little note I jotted down while I was watching this game. If you're one of those people that say the XFL won't work long term, and you're saying it's not the NFL, it's not the NFL, but this league's going to work because of the individual players. And one of the guys I wanted to bring up was Eli Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing with a heavy heart too.
Extremely heavy heart. We talked about this before the podcast, or before the show, excuse me. Wide receiver for the Steelers. You might have remembered him from a year or two ago. His mother died this past week, and his funeral was on the day he played. He skipped the funeral in order to play. If that's not someone that's going to show out and try to make it to the NFL, I mean, that's guys like that is what makes this league work.
You could see it after the game too. The emotion, the raw emotion. He was interviewed as well. The raw emotion that they interviewed him, and he just football is his family, and he's been raised with it, and he just wanted to go out there because he knew his mama would want him to go out there and play.
Correct.
I respect that. Shout out to Eli Rogers and the DC Defenders. They did an amazing job on Saturday. So let's get into the second game, which was the Tampa Bay Vipers going to Seattle and playing the Seattle Dragons. That line was actually Tampa Bay favored. I mean, it switched throughout the whole week. I think it ended at what, -4?
-3.5. It started at -3, so I guess everyone loved the Vipers. Again, we talked about it last week. There's Florida talent on this team. They're unorganized. They can't finish drives.
They go up and down the field like there's no tomorrow, but they can't get into the end zone.
Emilio, this is the second week in a row that they have outgained their opponent in yards, and they have yet to score an offensive touchdown this year.
I mean,
that's absurd.
Granted, they're not that stable at quarterback. You know, you got Quentin Flowers, you got Taylor Cornelius, Aaron Murray's hurt. You don't know who the quarterback is. I get it. The quarterback carousel flipping to see who's better or whatever it may be. I understand that part of it. But look, at the end of the day, you got 50 other guys on that team, and they want to make that extra money.
Right.
They want to make that extra. So go secure this victory.
Yeah.
If Quentin Flowers is the one, stick with him. If Tyler Cornelius is the one, stick with him. Let's get this W. We'll figure the rest out next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when Harry Murray comes back. But let's keep, like we talked about, and on the IG page, I said it in one of our live shoots. Let one of these guys stay in to build chemistry. Those two quarterbacks, Taylor Cornelius and Quentin Flowers, combined, they completed 19 passes on 34 attempts for 172 yards and 3 interceptions, 0 touchdown. That's flat garbage. Flat.
Yes, but also it's a short sample size. These guys haven't had enough time. I mean, there's one guy that really is just showing out. We'll get into that, on the Sunday games, but these guys haven't had enough time. They still need some time.
I understand that, but some teams don't need as much time. If you look at the Houston Renegades, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the Sunday.
But as far as Tampa's offense as a whole, Yeah, they move up and down the field smoothly, but they gotta. We were
gotta
talking,
finish.
Yeah, they gotta finish. They had a 1st and goal from the 1 yard line.
And they didn't get in.
Ran the ball for -1 yard on 1st down. Ran the ball for -1 yard on 2nd down. 3rd and 3 from 3rd and goal from the 3. They had a flat route to the running back. Caught it in the end zone, dropped it. Then they kicked a field goal from like less than 20 yards. And it was a muff snap. They looked like a mess out there.
So now, while Game 1 was a complete blowout and complete domination by the DC Defenders, Game 2 was competitive. You had back and forth. Yeah. The teams had a chance. Both teams had a chance to win the game.
Yeah, you had a defensive touchdown on each side of the
So Saturday's slate might have been a little bit, here and there, wishy-washy.
Before you jump into it, I loved Saturday's slate because I played a little football in high school, and I played on defense. I loved watching defenses excel. They had 3 touchdowns on defense and 3 touchdowns on offense in both Saturday games.
I agree with you 100%, but I'm doing that to lead into this next topic that we're going to talk about, where I saw an article that was sitting there saying how the XFL has a bad quarterbacking problem, and this was written after the Saturday games.
Right.
So my question is to the person that wrote that article, did you rewrite the article for the Sunday games? Because the quarterback play on Sunday, we saw some good quarterback play on Sunday.
Yeah, or did you just delete the article from all platforms?
It's still there. I saw it. It's still there. I just want to know if because everybody's quick to write something negative because it flies.
Yeah.
But something positive, it doesn't gain as much traction.
Doesn't move the needle, something positive.
So let's get into the Sunday slate. The Sunday slate, I had the first game. You had the second game.
Yeah, the first game was the Renegades Wildcats.
The Renegades Wildcats game was a really, really good game. I'm talking about a game that was 3-3 at the half.
Yeah.
3-3 at the half. And you can still tell that the Dallas Renegades quarterback, Landry Jones, is still kind of... He's still kind of hurt.
This is his first game.
Yeah, he's still kind of hurt, and he owned up to it. He threw a couple interceptions, and he wasn't playing really well. And when they interviewed on the sideline, he's like, man, I just got to play better. That's it. It's simple. I just got to play better. Yeah. And I think as the game went on, he did a good job of, reading the defense and checking into runs, getting them opportunities to score. And they did, and they won the game.
Yeah.
The final score was 25-18, I believe.
The final score of that game was 25-18 Renegades.
25-18.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, before I almost forgot, Cameron went 2-0 on the Saturday spreads as well. So that's 4 L's that I already took on spreads or picks or whatever against Cameron.
Yeah, 4-0 this week in XFL. I'm the XFL guru. first of its kind.
So far he's the 4-0 XFL guru. So on the Dallas note, then on the other side with the
before we start off with the Wildcats. Mm-hmm. Is that the one you were going to get to?
And their quarterback is Josh Johnson, if I'm not
Josh Johnson, yeah, and he actually had a nice little game.
A lot of overthrows.
Yeah, you watched a little bit more of that game than I did.
A lot of overthrows. And shout out to Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon, who came to support their guy, Spruce, I think his name is, the wide receiver from the LA Wildcats.
He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, and they were on the sidelines, man, coming to support their guys because they had players on both sides of the teams. They had players on the Renegades and they had players on the Wildcats, and they got interviewed on the sidelines, and they were like, man, these guys are getting an opportunity to try to show NFL teams or further their career because in all actuality, XFL is providing opportunity for these guys.
Absolutely, and we talked a little bit on Sunday about these guys showing up, and if they can support this league, that's gonna move this XFL into a better place. If these guys can get behind it, these guys from the XFL, these high profile players, then they're in a good place. People are going to watch if they're supporting their guys from
correct.
Maybe they played in college or maybe they had a cup of coffee with in the NFL.
Spruce was the standout for the Wildcats. The running back for the Renegades was...
Yes, Cameron Artis-Payne. I was just going to say, Landry Jones, one of the good things he did well was hand the ball off.
He checked out of it. And they interviewed Payne. They interviewed Payne on the sidelines, and Payne said it. Payne said, listen, he's valuable. He's so valuable. He can read the defense and see that I need to check to this run and let me do my thing.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Half the battle is being football smart. So to be able to check down and hand the ball off to a running back who's been a proven running back at times. We saw him with the Carolina Panthers He backed up the earth and ground attack between Jonathan Williams and
ground and pound.
Yeah, the ground and pound.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Cameron Artis-Payne this past week had 14 carries for 99 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground,
two touches.
That's right, and he had 5 catches and 32 yards through the air.
That's a playmaker in my opinion.
That's a good fantasy week.
That's XFL fantasy, baby.
XFL.
XFL. You'll kill me. You'll destroy me. XFL fantasy.
Yeah.
So then also we got the late game.
Yeah, before we jump into that late game, we're going to keep a lookout to see if the LA Wildcats fires their defensive coordinator.
No. That's not going to happen.
We're going to see if they go 2 for 2.
They can't run through coordinators like that on a weekly basis.
Bring back Pepper.
So the last game of the night was the St. Louis Battlehawks versus the Houston Roughnecks.
That's right.
And the Houston Roughnecks, without a doubt, have quote unquote the Lamar Jackson of the XFL.
Yep. We talked about this on our first show. PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
King PJ, right. King Your
PJ.
Highness PJ Walker.
Your Highness PJ Walker. This guy has more touchdowns than all teams in the XFL. And he's doing it with his legs. He's doing it with his arms. He's doing it with his eyes.
0 interceptions.
Interceptions. He came the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. He's slowly turning into the face of this league. I think Cardell Jones has a little bit more of a complete team. It's more like PJ Walker's just sort of not carrying it, but he's sort of making the plays to put his team in the right position. And Cardell's defense is really allowing him to play comfortably with a lead. So it's nice to see PJ really ball out. And he wasn't the only quarterback that did well in that game, but PJ Walker, 3 touchdowns through the air, 0 interceptions. All 3 touchdowns from PJ Walker went to Cam Phillips.
Now, I was just about to get into that. So Cam Phillips, because Sammy Coates is the bigger wide receiver name on that team,
right.
But the chemistry between PJ Walker and Cam Phillips is crazy.
Yeah, it looks great. They had, and I saw the last touchdown.
You would think those guys were teammates in college the way they just get it.
And in high school. Cam Phillips went to Virginia Tech. He had a cup of coffee with the Buffalo Bills. That last touchdown, the 3rd touchdown that essentially sealed the game, it was so beautiful. The roll, PJ Walker and the running back rolled to the right.
Yeah.
The line went to the left, so it was sort of a misdirection.
He threw it up and gave Cam a chance.
Cam Phillips fake blocked like it was an option run, and then pulled his hands back and went. And he sort of threw against the grain, PJ Walker, and it was just wide open. It was a beautiful play call from the offensive coordinator. I wish I knew his name. We'll shout him out when we find out.
So one more time, the quarterback play on Saturday was questionable. The quarterback play on Sunday was really good. And tell them about Jordan Tiamu on Sunday. Jordan Tiamu was really, really, really good on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, he had 2 interceptions. One of them you really can't control because one of them was a deflective. Like, they deflected his arm, and then it ended up going into the defender. He threw 1 really bad pass. He was extremely efficient. I think he was like 30 for 37, 284, and 3 touchdowns. And he also had a rushing touchdown. So he contributed to 4 touchdowns in total, correct?
He was responsible for 4 touchdowns. So he kind of got overshadowed by PJ because PJ had the hype going into this week and his team won. But shout out Jordan Tiamo. I mean, he had a fantastic game. He deserves recognition.
I mean, at one point he was perfect. Like, he had a perfect quarterback rating.
I mean, 30 for 37. That's NFL worthy stat line.
I mean, and he's bringing it. He brung it week 1 and he brung it week 2. Yeah. So shout out to PJ Walker and Jordan Tiamo, who both of them played really well. And you know exactly who you are if you're listening or watching. The person that wrote that article from Sports. You need to rewrite that article because those guys played really good on Sunday.
Yeah, we know you listen to the show, so get it right next time. I mean, I hope you eat your words, and I hope you write a little bit better of an article and have some respect on these quarterbacks as they still try to figure out only 2 weeks into this new league.
Cam, just real quick, I've been getting a little bit of feedback on why we do so much XFL coverage, and I'm like, well, XFL right now is filling a gap that we don't have in football.
America loves football.
And America loves football. But the thing about it is that there's no reason to compare this to the NFL. This isn't the NFL.
It's never going to be
It's never going to be. But that doesn't mean that because Aaron Rodgers' teammate that played with him had Cal isn't good enough to play in the NFL, that doesn't mean that person shouldn't be able to play somewhere.
Right, and we talked about, me and you on Sunday, there is way too much talent in the sport of football overall, and there's a limited amount of roster spots in the NFL.
Agreed.
Okay, so you're going to get good football. All right, it's gonna happen. You just can't look at it like it's the NFL.
No, you can. You can.
You know, absolutely. Maybe the quality of football is not on par with the NFL, but with the rules and the 25-second clock, pretty much.
Yeah, that pace of play is ridiculous.
It's beautiful. It almost pushes these teams to run. Every team's running the hurry up offense. It feels like.
Absolutely, I don't disagree with you.
I feel like I'm watching the Pac-12.
I don't. So let's just. I know we're gonna get into it on Wednesday, but can you just remind everybody, and if you do have it, who's playing who coming this weekend?
Yeah, this
and where could they find the games too? Because that's very important too. Because some people text me and they're very thankful on IG and they shout me out and they say, "Hey, listen, thanks for letting me know what channel the game is on and what time the game is on as well."
So I don't exactly have which outlets these games are going to be on for week 3.
It's always ABC, ESPN, Fox, or FS1.
Or FS1. Those are the 4 outlets. So depending on which TV provider you have, those channels will vary. But those are the 4 outlets you can rely on. On Wednesday, because that's a little bit of a slower day in sports, we'll talk about not only where to find those games, the time of those games, and also the betting lines we'll jump into as well. But as far as the matchups for week 3, you have the 2-0 Roughnecks, led by PJ Walker, heading to Tampa Bay to see the Vipers. So major red flag alert for the Vipers to not go through 0-3 here. It's
crazy because they moved the ball.
I know, and they were one of the teams favored. They were a top 3 team favored going into the league before week 1 to see it through and potentially get a championship team.
And at one point they were pitching a shutout.
Yeah, I know. In that game this week,
they were
like
pitching
9-0.
They were pitching a shutout.
Yeah, on the backs of their defensive touchdown. And then the second game we have on Saturday.
So wait, real quick, because I found it. So that game is Saturday at 2:00 on ABC.
Okay,
so go ahead.
All right, so note that. And then the second game we have on Saturday is a 5:00 game. Both teams 1-1. The Dallas Renegades traveling to Seattle, so another home game for Seattle. They have, by the way, side note here, they have a fantastic crowd in Seattle. They play the game.
Oh my God, 30,000 fans!
30,000 fans. Those they show out for those games. You already know the Seahawks. It was played in Seahawks Stadium. I don't know the name of the stadium. CenturyLink Stadium. Thank you. So they show out for their teams in general. They have their MLS team, the Sounders, that they show out. So they just love their sports up there. And I saw one of the I think it was the quarterback you sent me that was wearing the Seattle Sonics jersey.
Yeah. Well, let me just get into this promo real quick, and we'll get back to finishing the XFL. So this part of the show is brought to you by ElCabanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a café con leche or a natural pre-workout shot of Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch specials and their steak sandwich is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's ElCabanoSandwichShop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC. That second game is on ABC. I'm sorry, on Fox at 5:00.
Okay, I'm excited for that game. That'll be my game to watch out for. Until the Tampa Bay Vipers show me something, I'm not going to be too excited for their games. But I'm excited for that second game on Saturday. As far as Sunday is concerned, the first game we have is the 3:00 game on the slate. That's the New York Guardians. Again, both these teams are 1-1. New York Guardians traveling to St. Louis to battle the Battlehawks. And
that game, sorry.
Yeah, where is that game?
That game is in St. Louis, and it's at 3:00 on ESPN.
Okay. And then the second game, which will end the cap off the week 3 slate, is at 6:00. And where can you find that game?
That game is going to be on FS1, and it's in LA.
Okay. And that's between, you said, the LA Wildcats, who are 0-2, and they're going against the DC Defenders, who top team in the league. So another
upset
team
alert.
that can
upset alert.
Yeah, you have
upset alert.
Okay,
the reason why I think that, and I don't want to get into it because we're going to talk about it on Wednesday. The only reason why I think that is the same way you got me on
Onto the Dragons,
because they have to go the other way. DC's played 2 home games. This is their first game. They're going to be on the road. So
coast to coast, they got to go.
Absolutely. So what's next on the slate for us, my friend?
So really, the MLB we're going to talk about, but I wanted to finish off the XFL talk and just talk about how inclusive this league is. We talked about it last week. I just love what they're doing to bring these fans into the fold. I sent you a picture that we're going to throw up, so you'll probably see this before you hear it. But they put a camera inside of a helmet.
Oh yeah. They're just being creative.
Yeah.
They're just like, so for example, the people of this show, you don't get to really see or hear sometimes the guys behind the scenes, but Cameron and myself, we get a lot of feedback from these guys. Yeah. We allow them to be themselves. We get that. This is basically what the XFL is doing. The XFL is like, yo, you want to put a camera inside of a hole of a bottle cup of a beer cup or whatever it may be, go ahead, do it. If it works, it works. I saw that one photo where they had the picture all the way on the bottom where the ball was. The guy was holding the camera where the ball was to give you the view on how it looks from the ball up.
Oh, for the center, when the center takes down the ball. That's so, I mean, it like I said, it brings you onto the field. It looked like you were watching your TV through a helmet. So, like, you were one of the players on the field.
Exactly.
And you had everything from faster replayer reviews, the fact that you could hear the review official talk to the referee on the field about what we're going to decide to do, where you're going to place the ball.
And they had the Xbox controllers again,
that's a standard. I think they get great feedback on that, so they try to show that as much as possible.
No, it's called product placement. They're trying to get an Xbox sponsor, my friend.
Just like us.
Just like us, right? Just like us.
But not only that, and then to hear, and this is something that I loved, to hear the coach have a camera on him and hear him call the actual play into the quarterback, and then they show the quarterback in the huddle call it, and they give you the huddle view from the camera.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like you're there. It's all inclusive. And I'm telling you, the NFL, they're not going to come out and say this because they're too proud. They're going to start picking up some of these little
of course
little
they're going to
techniques.
swagger jack. Of course they're going to steal. I mean, it's in the best interest too.
Absolutely.
I mean, not for nothing. Everybody knows this now, but the Skycam originally came from the XFL.
You're right. I did notice that. They had a 30 for 30 on the XFL, and I remember them showing that.
Now, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to go on a rant. I need you to lead me into this MLB.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a continuation and just an overall bad showing from the Houston Astros organization and really the MLB commissioner. I saw a half sugar honey iced tea apology. That was, I think it might have been AJ Hinch, and I told Emilio this the other day. They came out and said, a reporter asked about the cheating scandal and what the impacts it had on the league. And I believe the response from Houston Astros official was something like, yeah, we have to take our licks on this one. We were in the wrong, but in no way did it impact the game. And the reporter is like, well, can you elaborate on how it didn't impact the game? And the guy's like, I didn't say that. Like, sir, you said it 8 seconds ago. Everything they're doing is wrong.
Let me explain something to you. They are literally missing on every opportunity when it comes to doing the right thing. Roger Goodell, people might not like Roger Goodell, but Roger Goodell does everything to protect the shield.
He's consistent.
Commissioner Manfred, because I needed to correct myself from last week because I was calling him, Rob Manfred, and I don't personally know him. So Commissioner Manfred, out of respect, Commissioner Manfred, you need to do a better job. Period. Yeah. Better job. The easiest thing you could have done, you vacate the Houston Astros title. That simple. No winner that year. No winner in that year of the World Series. No one won.
Yeah.
Don't give it to the Dodgers because the Dodgers don't want that. The Dodgers want to earn it on the field. So they don't want that. But no one won that year in the World Series. Vacate the title. It was really simple. The interview I saw him do with Carl Ravitch, I respect you to death. I respect what you do for a living. I understand. You tried your best to ask him tough questions. But let me interview him. I will ask him all of the tough questions in the world. I promise you. I will sit there and I will put him on the spot and be like, let me explain something to you. You were afraid of grievances that players were going to file because you were going to lose them. You need to do what's in the best interest of the sport. Today, I saw the GOAT. I saw the GOD, Mike Trout, come out and say it. Mike Trout never speaks on anything.
He's a quiet dude.
He came out and he said, I don't agree with the punishment. These players got off pretty much easy.
And he lost respect for some of the players.
He lost respect for some of the players. And he even, half-hearted, like he was just joking around saying, yo, could you imagine if I go up there and I know what's coming? That guy is that good. Could you imagine if he knew you're throwing a slider?
He'd break all sorts of records.
Yeah, he hit 30 more home runs. But, so Rob Manfred, I watched the interview that you conducted on ESPN's YouTube channel, and I was just disappointed. You had multiple opportunities to do the right things, say the right things, lay down the law, and you got scared or afraid because of the Constitution of the MLB. You are the commissioner. You are allowed to supersede those constitutions.
Yeah, you have a responsibility to keep things right in this league, and he has failed to do so on this account multiple times all along the way. That was like a PR stunt, that interview to sort of better his position.
It worsened it.
Yeah, it worsened it. Absolutely.
It worsened it. The great Hank Aaron. Everybody respects this man. No one knows what this man had to go through during his time with the home run chase. And he even said it. He said anybody that was caught doing this needs to be kicked out.
Yeah.
Period.
What I don't like, my stance on it, I don't like how they're trying to protect these players so much. It's weird to me because usually when you see scandals like this, whether it's cheating scandals or...
Now, hold on one second. Hold on. The MLB union, without a doubt, it is the strongest union out of all of major leagues, out of all the major sports. So that I have to defend a little bit. Commissioner Manfred.
Protect their own, yeah.
Yes, they've always been the strong. Anybody would tell you that any professional sports that the MLB Players Union is the strongest players union.
I understand protecting your own, but when it's something as egregious and obvious as this, some hammers need to be brought down.
Now,
I'm telling you.
For me, and I said it last week, I want to play baseball. I want to get to the baseball part of it. But Commissioner Manfred cannot dictate or basically say, oh, well, if guys are going to throw at these Houston Astros players, I'm going to come down on them. You didn't come down on them originally. Now you're going to come down on the players that are retaliated for the unwritten spoken rules that are part of the game in the first place?
Right, you're going to coddle the players that cheated?
That's asinine in my opinion. In my opinion, I personally feel like that, these guys put it upon themselves. They got to wear it on the back. They cheated. They admitted to cheating. We move on. If he's going to get drilled, so be it. Eat it. Go to first base. Don't say anything. That's part of the game. When A-Rod took steroids, he admitted to taking steroids. Ryan Dempster, Canada, man, drilled Alex Rodriguez. Got to wear it. It is what it is. Don't give him the opportunity to drill you because you don't take steroids and he feels like you're cheating the game. Right. It's that simple.
And if the Houston Astros players are going to say, oh, it's part of the game, it's part of the game, it's part of the game, then guess what? Getting thrown out for doing something like this, it's part of the game. That's simply what happened.
I don't disagree with you. Commissioner Manfred did an absolutely terrible job in this instance. He basically lawyered it. He went by the rules and stuck by the rules. Oh, the GM and the coach didn't submit the rules to the players. Are you kidding me? My 11-year-old son knows he's not supposed to steal signs.
Right.
You're not supposed to steal signs with technology neither. He knows that as well. What is he going to do?
Again,
take his iPad into the dugout and see what the sign the other team from Miami Lakes is giving him? Like,
right.
No.
That's the bigger thing. And just going off of like the players not getting any grunt of this, I was watching MLB Today. One of the clips they showed was Jose Altuve running to home plate, like holding his shirt together, like telling his guys that were about to like jump on him and celebrate.
What's
like,
the kind
don't
of
mess my shirt up?
What's the kind of messed up part about it is that Correa came to his defense, and I saw Correa come to his defense, him and Josh Reddick, and he said that those guys wanted no part of the the trash can or the sign stealing stuff. But look, without saying anything, you put yourself in that predicament for people to judge you. So even if Altuve or Josh Reddick weren't a part of it, you're guilty by association.
Yeah, the whole thing will wash over pretty easily if they just came out and really opened up about how badly they messed up and just own up to it 100%. Don't half sugar honey iced tea it. But
that's twice. You're getting good. I like that.
I'm watching my mouth.
I haven't said it once. I like that.
I'm just more keen to cuss, so I got to.
That's good. That's good.
But as far as like these again. Them protecting the players. Normally with these scandals, whether it's monetary scandals, when you're paying your recruits or athletes, whether it's cheating scandals, anything that's just a bad look or unbecoming on the organization, normally what you have is players or coaches messing up, and then either the coach or a team official or someone in the front office will leave and leave the brunt of the mess for the players to deal with. You have a situation where it's kind of the opposite. You have the players sort of, they're the ones that led this. They're the ones that were really participating in this and pushing forward a full cheating scandal. And you have all the brunt of it going to the managers and the Houston organization, like all the back end front office. They're getting no punishments.
I think Commissioner Manfred copped out, and he basically granted immunity to these players when he shouldn't have granted immunity. He was more worried about the strongest union coming after him and him losing face and losing these grievances. And in my opinion, he should have Roger Goodell this one.
Yeah.
He should have took it by the reins and squeezed because the integrity of the game is now being questioned.
Yeah, Robbie Manfred. I'm calling you Robbie because you ain't got no respect.
You could do that. I'm not gonna do that, but
we know you're listening. Just do a better job, man.
Yeah, we want to play. We want to see the game the beautiful game that it is. We want to play the right way. If guys are gonna get thrown at, that's part of the game. It's always been part of the game. Yep. It's always been part of the game.
Take it in stride.
Don't hit him in the head. That's all I can say. Go down low to his feet, hit him in the butt, hit him in the ribs. Just don't hit him in the head. It's going to come. Houston Astro players, I hope you protect yourselves. It's just part of the game. Correa, you're gonna take one. Bregman, you're gonna take one. Maybe Altuve gets a pass, maybe.
Right.
But some of these Astros players are going to get hit.
And you know what? We talked a little bit last week about them trying to build a viewership and them trying to get more eyes from a fan standpoint on these MLB games throughout the whole season. They have me interested now because I'm going to watch all this. This is all making me very interesting to see. I'll probably be tuning into a lot of Houston Astros games this year.
Of course. I mean, everybody, I feel for those guys because it's going to be complete and utter hell when they go on the road.
100%.
When they go on the road, it's going to be – and then, I mean, Dusty Baker's doing a great job of trying to police or not protect his players. Yeah. And trying to tell, the commissioner, stuff like that, listen – make sure these guys are not getting hit. My guys got to get protected. This ain't the right thing to do, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, can't stop it.
There's nothing they could do about it. Well, let me get into this last promo. This part of the show is brought to you by El Cubano Sandwich Shop. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups and deliveries. Enjoy a cafe con leche or a natural pre-workout shot of Cuban coffee to start your day. Daily lunch specials and their steak sandwiches is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's elcubanosandwichshop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 4. You can check us out on episode 5 coming up. Please like us, subscribe, comment on YouTube, on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, the EAC Show. Also on all podcast platforms, Apple Music, CastBox, Google, etc. Cam, I really do appreciate it. Marcus Mack on the sound, video, Anthony Nieves and Jordan Crate. Make sure you go check out jordancrate.com. Emilio Jr. is not here tonight. He's at home with mommy, but Emilio
President's
Jr.,
Day.
I love you. Guys, I appreciate it. We'll see you next episode. Thank you.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.